given a game plan, and she followed it to the T.
Her nightmare started last summer when her little sister, who'd never traveled alone before, packed a bag and snuck off to join jihad in Syria.
We all went to work, came home, all her stuff was gone.
Looking back, there were warning signs. She started wearing a niqab just like this, started watching ISIS propaganda, and dropped out of college to study the Quran full-time online with a teacher in Edmonton.
All of her information was coming from a friend that she had met online who was starting off to teach her about the Quran and teach her about Islam.
The course was really Radicalization 101, what to pack, how to get into Syria via Barcelona and Turkey. She was even coached on what to tell her family when she called home.
I'm in Syria. I'm not coming home. Never am I coming home, so accept it. And this is where I'm gonna die.
She says Canada's spy agency warned the family the ISIS flag was her sister's Twitter photo.
CSIS approached my family. They told us that she had been interacting with people that were influencing her in a negative way, but they didn't give us enough information.
Her family was furious to later learn CSIS knew a lot more than they let on. Knew she was headed to Syria, yet did not stop her here in Toronto before she boarded her flight. Now her passport's revoked. Now she's on the no-fly list. Too little, too late, says her sister.
She has clearly told me in a conversation that they followed her all along, every step of the trip, and that they approached her and they tried to stop her, but they didn't physically detain her, which I don't understand.
The power to detain suspected terror recruits, even cancel their flights, is in proposed legislation to boost CSIS's ability to stop ISIS. But still, she says Canadian officials should have done more.
I would have ripped her passport up. There's no way I would have let her leave.
She is also furious the Edmonton recruiter she believes bought her sister's plane ticket is still free to influence other young Canadians.
We don't sleep. We don't eat. Who knows how many more people have gone to Syria with her help. I know my sister isn't the first, and I know she wasn't the last.
Exactly how many Canadian women are now under ISIS's grip is not clear. Natalie Clancy, CBC News, Toronto. ISIS is tracking young women in Canada, and we know this because for several months we've been speaking with a family whose sister was recruited in an online course, Radicalization 101. It was supposed to be teaching the Quran. Instead, they were taught to pack warm clothes and boots, fly to Barcelona, then Turkey to avoid suspicion, and as soon as you get there, tell your friends and family they're never coming back. Now, this young woman shocked her friends and family when one day she packed up and left.
We all went to work, came home, all her stuff was gone. She had packed all of her winter clothes, you know, took her computer and left.
We are protecting her identity for fears of her security in Syria. But the family says at one point there were signs she started wearing a niqab covering her face, and CSIS agents showed up at the home to tell them she was following ISIS leaders on Twitter. The ISIS flag was her Twitter photo, and they were concerned, but not enough to do much. Now the family's furious, saying CSIS agents didn't tell them how much they knew, that in fact she was headed to Syria, and they asked why didn't they stop her here at the Toronto airport.
They had let me listen to the recordings, the conversations of them planning on going places, you know. If that would have definitely given us much more to act on.
She says if she had known, she would have stopped her sister from going anywhere. Now she says it's too little, too late. Her sister's passport has been revoked. Coming home is not an option. We've also been tracking a second Canadian woman. She is no recruit. She appears to be gathering intelligence for ISIS, traveling freely inside and outside ISIS-controlled parts of Syria and Iraq. Natalie Clancy, CBC News, Toronto.